Hello one, hello all, it's the gothiest ghost of them all, Caspa in the flesh, and it's time for a review of Wiki and Tony Seltzer 14K Figaro. This is a collab album between New York rapper Wiki and Brooklyn producer Tony Seltzer, and this wouldn't be the first time they've crossed paths musically. Oh no, they have definitely done this in the past, but this is the first time where they've collabed on a full-length album. And with Wiki's vocal delivery being so tangible and introspective, like you're there, and Tony Seltzer's very otherworldly, abstract sample flips, this is actually a match made in another dimension of a pleasurable place. But maybe not a pleasurable place consistently, thematically, as Wiki really puts his heart on the line on these tracks, where he shares emotions of defeatism, of triumph, of struggle, of many things. Not really a positive dimension for him consistently throughout this. Of course, there's these ups and downs, but there are the triumphant moments as well, which we'll get into. The album starts off with a bang with Triple Figaro, with these dreamy but mystical chimey keys, with reverse pitch down vocal loops, angular skidding rhythms with a glistening beat, and angular skidding rhythms with a glistening beat switch. That's very beautiful, very mesmerizing. And I love how, even though there's a beat switch, the opening refrain still matches the change within the sonic element here. It's absolutely stunning. The song Turkish Gold, where Wiki goes on a vindictive diatribe over these fuzzy flurries of dramatic strings, with this energetic beat where he sounds the most seething on this track, with a super charismatic flow. And of course you have the song Purity, where Wiki is showing his romantic side here, where he raps about treating this woman within the reasonable price range. He's a treater. He's a treater. And the sexy, passionate jazz samples here, the saxophone is just oozing with that sexy passion, that heat, that it sounds so gorgeous, along with this booming bass that makes the track just sound so intimate. And on Numb, we get the unfortunate defeatist side of Wiki, with these dusty vintage piano runs and ghostly vocals in the background. It sounds like the track is haunted, with these speedy cymbal clashes as Wiki raps about his declining motivation, of his vision of perseverance in the game he is trying to conquer. And he has gone through so many hardships, through economic struggles, mental health, and he just feels numb to a point where he is reaching where he wants to be, but he is just feeling so defeated, so emotionless due to the obstacles he has faced through his journey. But I will say, even though he does sound defeated here, he is leaving no crumbs lyrically with the wordplay, absolutely killing it. Like the night before Christmas, but ain't no Kris Kringle, Christian mingle. I ain't sliding down the chimney unless you sliding with me. After I eat the cookie, I'm out the door. Like you wildin', Wiki, what's mine's mine's. Damn, I wish I could do more. So yeah, Wiki is definitely in his bag here, and Tony Seltzer is absolutely in his bag here. And if you thought that he has finished, that this album will stall, it's not that often. And when Tony Seltzer shines, he bubbles, he goes up to the top, and Wiki just follows along. And they are cooking, they are frying, and they are bringing fried ice cream, which is definitely an immense highlight on this album. And definitely one of the most geniusly creative tracks on this record, that starts with this woozy sample flip and these reversed melodies, blippy sound bits and glitchy strums of the classic sample used by Raekwon and Ghostface on the classic track Ice Cream, that goes into one of the sickest transitions into the sample of the track Candy Shop by 50 Cent, which, let's be honest here, is definitely better than the original. And you can debate me on that all you want, but there is no way you could tell me that the original was as intricate and trippy and hypnotic as the sample and the flip that is brought on this album. And Zoolippers just comes in here and absolutely kills it, sounding like a cross between Future and Ski Mask, and his flow is just so entrancing. It is just coming at you, and I don't know, like when I hear it, like his flow is just so, I would say, meditative, but also hypnotic and entrancing at the same time. It's like he's coming at you so linear, but yet it's speedy. It's insane. It's insane. And he just sounds super animated, so unhinged at the same time. We also have the very touching track Lily Pad with these crisp ham drums, ambient soulful vocal samples which pop in and out of the mix. He goes deep into his life here, sharing his background and his undying gratitude who had him under dire circumstances, and reflecting on the life that she risked her own to bring to him, from his ethnic background, culture, moments of heartbreak, and deepest emotions shown on here. The following track is This Ain't Pat, with these epic horn shots panning channel to channel, with these triumphant vocal samples that in a way is like Wiki's second wind thematically on this album, where he sounds more motivated here, more ambitious, but not to mitigate the quality he's been bringing on this album. Every emotion has been hitting, but on this one he sounds more motivated, more inspired. I would say this is the moment where you're watching a movie of his life and you're getting to the point of the montage where you're cheering him on and you're just hoping and rooting for his prosperity and his success and his progression. And it is just an uplifting moment. And I would say the album ends off strong as well. The song Enterprise, Wiki delivers these fiery verses over this vibrant bassy ride of a beat with these soaring pitched vocal samples. And I love the shimmering pianos and twinkly keys and stuttering beat additions on the back end. And there's also Weed Song, as Wiki delivers these doubled vocals in the beginning and brings this strong topical focus of these bars that correlate to weed on the reason for his partaking. And it definitely connects so very well and leaves me hanging on word for word as he raps about weed, which some rappers, I'm sorry, can't make it as interesting as Wiki. And believe me, I've heard a lot of weed rappers before, but Wiki definitely dives deep into this conversation, and in every struggle he states, every description of his intake is just so moving to me. And the beat is backed with these soulful vocal samples, church-like organs switching into this bustling production with these break beats and shots of drill-like bass, and even some electrical currents that happen throughout a majority of this album. I didn't really touch on the electrical sound effects that are in this album, but they're definitely there. And you can't forget the tag mark, Yo Tony! And the closing track, New Religion, has these disembodied stuttering choir samples. And I love how these sonic elements evolve through the track. And Wiki raps about starting his own religion, of not having to worry about judgmental ties and constriction in living, as he has these dope reflections of detractors turning into panderers. And again, also touching on the aspect of liberation through this new religion he is embarking on. And I love how it develops into this evolving choir sample that just expands through the end of the track. It's very uplifting. It's a religious experience, and definitely a religious experience I would like to revisit in opposed to other rappers, other Christian rappers, even though this isn't Christian, except for Blue. Blue had some dope Christian bars there, but I digress. As far as complaints go, It would be, yeah, the features and how Wiki sometimes is not in his bag when it comes to singing. I'm not saying he's the greatest singer. I don't expect him to be like Sampha or anything, but he could be pretty underwhelming, and his features could be pretty underwhelming too, like Wi-Fi God on RL or Remy Banks on Scenic Route. They just do not pop on the track for me, I'm sorry, and they just leave me very underwhelmed. But aside from that, this is a fantastic album, and I said to myself, didn't formally review this, but I said to myself, Half God is Wiki's best. But after hearing this is Wiki's best. Tony Seltzer and Wiki just come through and make a fantastic collab. As I stated before, production's great, bars are great, very moving, very visual, very tangible, and yeah, loving it. Loving it, loving it, loving it. I am feeling the blackest 4 hearts out of 5 on this album. Yes, definitely going to be one of my favorites of the year. But if you've heard this album, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? And why? That's it. Caspa, Gothic Ghost, Wiki, Tony Seltzer, 14K Figaro. Till we meet again.